A new alliance is forming here. I'm Jason Guy from Big Brother 3, and look who that is.
Hey, I'm Rachel the Eggest, your favorite house guest from Big Brother 13 that was the winner. Okay, maybe not the favorite house guest, but you know, your favorite winner from Big Brother 13,
Yes.
right?
Your favorite winner of season 13.
Your favorite winner of season 13. Hey, and you know, it's funny,
winners.
you say a new alliance. I think that this is the best alliance. No shade to Danielle, but you know, she's not here. We can talk about it. That's what we do.
Yeah, she is watching. She's gonna weigh in. We're gonna talk to Danny throughout the months to come, weeks to come. But Danny's just busy. Life got busy kind of as things open back up for her. And she's got a job. It's one of the reasons that she couldn't do an all-star season, if they approach and all that stuff. You were pregnant last season, but you would have jumped in. You were like, if they would let a pregnant lady on, you would have gone.
I would have been in that house in a second. And also, I think like if they had another one, like a Legends or something, and they shortened it, I think we could get a lot more people too.
The time frame of one of those celebrity seasons, that could work for a lot of contestants.
Exactly.
Maybe the winter months.
I'm open. My schedule's open.
We've got a new Big Brother family member, our latest evictee. And just a moment ago, we got a chance to talk to Whitney. On the other side of this, we'll talk a little bit about what she had to say, Rachel. So let's get to it. Welcome to the family from season 23. Hi.
Happy to be here. Wish I could have made it further, but here we are.
What do you think happened for your game?
What didn't happen for my game? I aligned myself with somebody who was chaotic and a little very unpredictable in the game. And then my own team member was a huge target. And then I was pro-female in a house where it was female dominated. So I think I did a lot.
And just so we understand, who are you talking about when you say it was chaotic?
Frenchie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the weeks after his departure, did you have trouble latching on to some other contestants and really sort of finding your way?
I did a little bit. I feel like him throwing a lot of people into a random alliance made me a lot more cautious with who I wanted to align myself with in the future. And unfortunately, I feel like I was so cautious that it prevented me from joining something soon enough. By the time that I finally started forming people together in my head of like, okay, now I feel like I can trust you, or okay, now I have seen that you're a good competitor. I want to work with you, which was about a week and a half ago. At that point, they were already in their alliances. So I was about a week too late. Yeah.
Rachel, you know what it takes as a woman fighting through this game.
Yes. Yeah. And I was going to say, Whitney, like, I feel like we kind of touched base on this before, but being a very pro-female alliance, like you wanted to go in there and make a female alliance. And then you had said you bonded with Alyssa. What kind of happened? Like, were you trying to do the female alliance? Do you think the guys caught on to that?
I wanted a female alliance to happen, but I've seen how a lot of female alliances do fail early on. So I was kind of, again, being more cautious, and I wanted to see who I trusted most before I officially formed it. I did have a close friendship with Alyssa, and she is somebody that I wanted to work with in the beginning, as well as Claire and Sarah Beth. But yeah, I think I acted way too slow. I think that if I worked a lot sooner, it could have actually happened and been beneficial for us.
And what do you think your biggest like obstacle to that was? Because do you think that it was just like that they had already had that alliance, or do you think that it was just like the personalities?
I think it was the fact that there were already alliances formed was the biggest obstacle. And also, as far as Alyssa, her relationship with Christian has continued to grow over time. And the fact that I am very like, females, like, let's win, let's do this, let's get out the guys as much as we can. But she's in a showmance. Like, there's no way she was going to target one of the biggest competitors in the house when that's somebody she's very closely aligned with. So I don't think it was going to happen.
Yeah. And do you feel that, because I get this question all the time, when they say in Big Brother, because you even kind of touched on this, female alliances don't work. Do you feel that that's because there's a showmance and there's the bigger alliance and there's the this and then that, or what, like, why do you think we can't do it? Like, what is going on?
I think there's a few things. I feel like women aren't as a whole as like, I feel like when men create something, they're like, yes, we're in this. And I feel like girls are like, oh, what about this? Like, let's do this. But also like, I don't know how to put this. I feel like girls aren't as reliable, I guess, sometimes just in our nature. We like to see all of our choices versus men are very like, this is what's going on. So I feel like that's like a big issue.
You're saying we're simple. Men are
simple and women are
don't
complicated.
Rethink our decisions. We're even
that
if it's a bad one.
Yep. That's how I meant to put it. Thank you. That's exactly
it's
what
like
I was
when we go on a car ride and we need to ask for directions and we know we're lost, but we're just gonna keep going.
Yes, versus girls are like, but what about this route? What about this route? Oh, we have to stop here. We need to get gas. I need to use the bathroom. Can we get snacks? But guys are like A to B. So I feel like that's a big problem and why it wouldn't have worked. I don't know. Also, it's really sad, but a lot of the competitions, like men are by nature bigger and men are by nature more muscular and they have all these like advantages. And we do have our own comps that we have an advantage over. But unfortunately, the comps that we've seen so far are targeted toward more of like a men's build and like what they're more capable of doing. So I think as far as like those comps that were already won, we had a disadvantage so far.
Well, do you feel like though, because ahead, I know I like do a lot of competitions and like Janelle, she's like,
oh, you're amazing
queen, right? And like, so I feel like for me, when I would have to compete against guys in some of these things, I even thought in my head, like, okay, I know Jeff is probably faster. I know that he's going to be maybe like, I just kind of have to like work through that because like, I feel like even with like endurance comps, you know, like Derek won this last one, right? So Derek X, it's like crazy. Like I always won my endurance comps. So I'm always like,
I was so ready for an endurance comp. Oh, that's the one I was waiting for.
Just missed it.
I know. I really thought Hannah was going to win that one. I think Hannah was going to be in a great position to win the endurance comp.
Yeah. Do you think it's a mental thing sometimes? I feel like that for me, endurance was all mental.
Absolutely. I think it's whoever can ignore the pain because the outcome is worth it. I think it's absolutely mental. Even if your arms are on fire and you feel like you're going to have some torn ligaments in the process, as long as you know in your mind it's worth it because that means that I have safety and I can make these big decisions and people can work through that. I really think endurance is all mental. There's also like if your foot slips or something that's out of your control. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's like
it is mental. And I'll tell you, because I let go of a key and was out of that first round of our final 3 HOH competition. And it's just my head was elsewhere. And I was, I'm going to change hands. And it's over that fast. And Rachel, you're talking about that kind of focus. That's what wins that. I mean, won the game for you. You know, you're talking up here, 2 people who didn't win the game with Big Brother.
Well, I didn't win once too. So, you know, I get where you're coming from.
The alliance that Julie revealed to you, you've had a little time to sleep on it. Are you still blown away by this royal flush?
I'm not blown away by them because I have seen it forming. I knew kind of what was happening just by the way that people interact with each other and the way that they interacted with me. I just did not anticipate that it would be 8 people. Like, I feel like it's just waiting to explode at any moment. They're probably going to have to start backstabbing each other like as soon as maybe this week. I don't know if there's only one person who's not in an alliance and that's Whitney. So I'm assuming she'll be put up on the block, but I just feel like it's not the smartest decision on their part to have such a big alliance, but I'm not shocked at all that it's happening.
And when you look at the people who are still in the house, who's sitting pretty and who's in trouble right now?
Now that I've done some interviews, I've heard that Sarah Beth is not sitting as pretty potentially as I thought she was. I was really hoping that X and Sarah Beth could be the winners. I think that they're doing a great job at like, they're social and they're intelligent and they can clearly win comps. And I really thought that they had a potential to win. But if I see that potential, that means the rest of the house probably sees that potential, which does make them a threat. So I don't know. It's really hard.
And
it's hard.
Right
like
now,
I'd have to watch to see what's happening behind the scenes so I can see what everybody else sees to make that decision.
Are you stoked to do that?
Oh, as soon as I get home, I'm obviously going to see my boys, spend time with them. But then as soon as they fall asleep, I'm going to binge the entire season so far. Like, I have such a curious mind. I just want to know what I don't know.
Oh, it's getting good.
We saw you, Whitney, say that you were going to blow up the Derek X's game. So like, why didn't you do that?
I wanted to, but I didn't have enough time in the house to do so. I was waiting to hopefully make it through the week and then figure out what was going on from there. I knew that Christian had a really good position to be able to blindside his number one competitor, which is Derek X, by taking me off the block. And the fact that that didn't happen told me that they're most likely working together. Otherwise, that's a really stupid decision not to do so at that moment. So I was waiting to see if I was saved, and if I was saved, then I was going to blow somebody up, but I wasn't. So I didn't have the chance.
I can't wait until you see everything that's going on and other alliances that are happening in the house.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to it.
I know. Is there one thing you want to tell Big Brother fans now that you've joined this crazy dysfunctional family on reality TV?
It's a lot harder than you'd expect. Like, people can sit back and watch and make their own decisions, but the viewers, are able to see everything. We can't see everything. We only see the little bit that's around us. So it might be easy for people to be like, oh man, that was a dumb game move or whatever. But like, you never know until you're in the house and really see it like firsthand. But also I really I came in I came into the house. I guess I'm not there anymore. But I came there really wanting to be like a strong female presence and show women and single moms and people who have gone through hardships. Like, you can do it. You can get through these hard times. I promise it's worth it. Like, look at my story and look at where I am now. So I'm really, really hoping that that was shown through the season, me being in the house so far.
Well, certainly going to give you an opportunity to talk more about that and to do that. I mean, let's talk about those kiddos. How pumped are you to see them?
I can't even begin to tell you. I am counting down the minutes. I get to FaceTime them and soon actually.
Oh, good.
I get to FaceTime them soon, and I'm hopefully we're gonna go to the beach for or at least a week once I get out of here. And I took time off until November, so I get to catch up on lost time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rachel, you got anything else?
Yes, I have a this or that Oregon versus Big Brother edition.
Yes, let's go.
And we have a little mommy twist. So,
yes.
Okay, I kind of wanted to know if you thought the Big Brother pool versus the beaches in Oregon.
Oh, beaches in Oregon. Favorite place in the entire world. I've traveled, and the beaches in Oregon are unparalleled.
Really?
Okay. Oh, have you not been yet?
No, I live in Florida now. I've got great East Coast, West Coast beaches. I lived in Los Angeles. That's a little rocky. I grew up in Alabama, so we got those Gulf Coast beaches. I don't know. It's hard to beat like that Destin area.
Oregon beaches are a huge destination wedding spot where people all over the country come to the Oregon beaches because they're just so serene.
Yeah.
You definitely have to look up some videos and maybe do a BB road trip where you visited some past contestants and a tour bus.
Okay.
Idea. Come see me. I'll show you around.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Navigating the waters with two boys or navigating the waters of Big Brother.
Two boys is pretty simple compared to Big Brother. What you see is what you get with my boys. Big Brother's chaos.
Oh gosh, that's the truth, right?
Yep.
Now, trusting a nanny or a babysitter versus trusting the Big Brother house guests.
Oh, trusting a nanny or babysitter. I do not trust anybody in the house fully.
Really? That's
but one person do I fully trust.
Okay, not even X.
I mean, you know how I feel about X, but I don't. But did he fight to keep me in the house? Probably not. So I only trust him to some extent.
Okay, well, I was gonna say the scenic Big Brother landscape of all the hot men, or the Oregon landscape of the mountains.
Oh, I don't need men. I'll take the mountains. Absolutely. Give me more questions. It's gonna be Oregon every time.
Oh gosh, I guess I don't know. Do you have any more this or that, Jason?
I want to know this as we talk about Oregon. Are we, when we're taking this Big Brother trip, are we loading up the bus and going to Willamette and San Francisco?
Ooh, I am going to take you guys to Pacific City, my favorite beach in the entire world. I'm going to take you through the mountains of Tillamook, which is where I grew up. We can go explore the mountains, and I'm going to take you guys to Mount Hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to make that little wine country stop there.
I know. Oh yes, we do need to go to some vineyards. Okay, we can. Okay, fine. You convinced me. We can go.
Okay, all right. I love it. Hey, thanks so much for your time. And again, welcome to the Big Brother family.
Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you. What do you think? Are we getting in a van and driving all over Oregon?
I am up for it. I'm there, Jason. Let me know. I will be there. I'll make Brendan come. I think we should all bring our kids too, because now we all have kids. So
yeah, this is a big pivotal moment in the game. We've played with teams up until this point, and Julie dropped a big announcement on the house guest last night. What did you take from their reaction? Is this good that everybody's playing alone now, or is everybody terrified?
I'm thinking of it from being a player, because when you watch the show, it's hard to gauge their actual reactions because they all act shocked. Oh, we're so shocked. And I'm thinking about from being a player, how when you split up,
you were expecting this at some point.
Right. They were expecting it. Exactly. And I think it's at this point, they were probably expecting it around this point. Maybe they thought it would be like another few weeks, but the teams were starting to get really low. So I think they were probably expecting it this week or next week. And they've been talking about it on the live feeds. So I'm thinking from a player's perspective, this is only a good thing. They've already kind of started to break away from the teams, but it has hindered them for who they can nominate, right? Because right now, if your team member wins, you can't nominate anyone on that team. Maybe you don't even want to, but I always think in my head how hard it is when you have half of the house you can't nominate. Like Frenchie's week of HOH, he couldn't nominate his team. He promised like everyone else immunity. So it's like, when there's only like a few people you can actually nominate without, showing your cards, then it does become really hard.
It's interesting that we're still talking after his reign week 1 and then his eviction week 2, that he created so many ripples. Whitney sort of goes, that's the reason that I'm gone. It was all in his wake.
100%. I think Frenchie was a very big player, and I don't think that the Big Brother fans are giving him enough appreciation, because to be honest, like if he didn't have that crazy first 2 weeks, the season would have not been like such a bam, because it's like his first 2 weeks kind of made such chaos that it's like now we're still, like you said, we're still seeing the ripples. Like Whitney was friends with him. Brittany is still on the outcast because she was very loyal to Frenchie. So it's like we're still seeing the Frenchie effect.
You brought up Brittany. She survived in the eviction, the 4th eviction of the season. When she started to rap, do you enjoy this, or are you cringing like I am? I'm like, no, don't do it. And then I was so relieved that she didn't do it.
It's funny. I love everyone on this season. I actually love all their like quirky weirdness. So I'm totally into it. Cause like,
sure, you know what? I'm here for the weirdness. Yeah, and I'm one of the weirdos. I'm weird. Yeah.
Me too.
And they are really likable, Rachel. I thought that was something that was surprising. And I know we're going to see somebody rise up as a villain, and even Frenchie at some moments was a villain, but he was still likable because he made it entertaining. And that's why we come back every summer and every season for Big Brother. We need somebody to make it entertaining.
Exactly. We need someone to make it entertaining. And that's why I think it's interesting to see these 8-person alliances still forming. The Royal Flush, okay, how many seasons of Big Brother do we see when there's 8 people and they just implode on each other? They never stay together. They're kind of staying together still, but they've also had these targets that they can easily go after. So we're going to see them it has to be this week. Like Christian is a competition beast. Derek X is a competition beast. These 2 big guys who every season, all the girls say, I'm going after the alpha men. I'm not going to let these alpha men. I understand where Alyssa's coming from because Alyssa is in the showmance with Christian, right? So she's not going to target her showmance partner. But like Derek X, how are these other girls not saying like, we've got to get him out. We've got to get out Christian. Because in my head, the first thing I'm thinking is like, are you like thinking right now? Because this is Big Brother, $750,000 this year.
Yeah, like alert. It was only $500,000 on all our seasons. The biggest prize in the show's history, $750K.
And they're letting the alpha men take over again. And that's what I just can't understand about the girls this season, because being that player, I keep thinking like, if I was in the house this season with them, there's no way. Like, I would very much love these people, but there's no way I'm letting Derek X in this house. Like, he's got to go. He's my first target. And do you know that, Jason, all the competitions have been won by men? That is like what Whitney was talking about. And she's like, well, they're just favored toward men. But like, I love her. I don't think that they are favored toward men, because we've seen a lot of competitions that girls have won that they've played.
You proved it in your season, and you brought up Janelle. You guys were comp beasts.
Right.
I think you're right. It's just who wants it more, and right now that's what we're seeing in the season. But there's a whole lot of time left. That's okay. No. This is a baby break.
I am so sorry. He had a giant piece of dog food in his mouth.
Don't eat dog food.
No.
Oh my God.
All we need is for him to choke while we're doing the interview. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Hey, bud.
Hey.
You want to weigh in? What do you think about BB?
He loves it. He loves it. Yeah. Do you know what I was really surprised about? That Azah wanted to get Whitney out because she has a crush on Xavier too. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. That always is a strange dynamic when that love triangle forms in the Big Brother house.
Yes.
I think it's really interesting to see how some of the friendships and alliances are shaken out. I think Kai and Sarah Beth, right? That's something that's interesting. That is going to be she's making herself, in my opinion, Sarah Beth, a harder target to touch because Kai likes her. And I'll talk about this one alliance that I just see that is really, really strong. And I think doing some brilliant moves by creating each side alliance, the cookout. What do you think right now, Rachel?
The cookout's genius. I think Tiffany is really on par with, like, she's really on tap with what's going on in the house. She's
is
like
she overplaying?
Really good player. No, I don't think she's overplaying. Okay. She reminds me of Danielle Reyes, and I've said this in another interview because we watched Danielle play, and Danielle's like thinking about every single thing that could happen, what all the people are. She's like always thinking about the moving parts. I think Tiffany's always thinking about the moving parts. She's really smart, and she's really on to what's going on. And I think her side alliances that she has are going to last forever because people seem to really go to Tiffany. It's like, not like when you have a side alliance and you're like friends, like they go to her, like they trust her. They want her to be their friend. Like I've noticed a lot with Tiffany where it's like, people go to her and cry. They go to her and laugh. They're going to her to like, just be her friend, you know? So I don't think she's overplaying. Do you think she's overplaying?
Okay. I get a little nervous at times, but she is really good about telling us in the diary room what she's doing and thinking and trying to make happen, but she's not saying it to another contestant. And that is good. When the players don't know that she is playing hard, that she's just like, okay, and agreeing with them and going along with it. I get a little nervous because I think she is smart, and I do see some of those similarities to Danielle Reyes. Okay, I like where this is heading. And I've heard people were a little upset with the cookout, and I'll tell you why you're upset with the cookout, because you didn't get invited. And there's some great stuff there grilling up in the BB house, and some contestants are about to get cooked.
I love that. I love that. Jason, you just like
four puns
on that one title.
Okay. I love that you brought little Guy in. Thanks for joining us. He may make some more appearances.
Yeah.
And tell us again, how old now? How old now,
he's
Rachel?
7 months.
Yeah. So he's who we met a year ago in your belly.
Yes.
Obviously, we're going to talk about the show. There are going to be cute kids involved, contestants who've been booted, and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It was like that Alyssa Christian thing that you mentioned. It sort of reminds me of something I heard a great player once saying about nobody gets in between me and my man.
Oh yeah, no one comes between me and my man.
And on that, they play the music, and we got to get out of here. Rachel, we'll see you next time for The Secret Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you.